Step back, Private. He doesn't need your help. But Emily Carter didn't move. One knee pressed into the grass, her hands steady on the tightened straps of the brace. Calm. Intent. Certain. The air around her shifted as drills across the field slowed, soldiers glancing over, whispers traveling like static. Colonel William Hawthorne sat rigid in his chair, his dark dress uniform crisp, his silver hair sharp against the sun. His face revealed nothing. His hands rested heavy on his thighs, unmoving. For years, his silence had been unshakable. You had no clearance to review my medical history, Hawthorne said, voice like gravel. I had reason, Emily replied, her eyes never dropping. A murmur rolled through the onlookers. She was new here, mid-20s, lean build, black hair pulled back under her cap. Her uniform was too fresh, boots barely scuffed. No rank beyond private. No medals, no stripes. Nothing to shield her but conviction. You think I haven't had the best minds look at me? His gaze narrowed, ice cold. Yes, sir. But sometimes the best minds stop believing. She tugged the final strap firm. You haven't. The word struck harder than he wanted to admit. His jaw flexed, his breathing heavier now. You're out of line. Respectfully, sir, she said, her voice even. Your quadriceps and glute muscles still show activity. Small, yes, but alive, which means there's still a pathway. It's there. You've just stopped listening to it. He froze. No one had said those words in 15 years. The doctors had managed pain, managed logistics, managed silence. But they had never spoken of possibility. Not since the desert convoy, not since the blast. You think I haven't tried to stand? I think you haven't tried again, she said simply. Not since someone convinced you hope was useless. I'm not that someone. He wanted to dismiss her, to crush her audacity. Yet she didn't flinch. Her hands had moved with precision, not bravado. Her tone carried no flattery, no desperation, just unshakable certainty. She stood, not proud, but resolute. Before I enlisted, I worked in neuro rehab. My patients were soldiers. I've seen legs move after years of silence. Spines react after every scan said impossible. Sir, your body isn't finished. It's waiting for you. Hawthorne's chest tightened. His fingers pressed into his thighs. His throat locked against words. Something inside him, buried deep beneath metals, beneath silence, stirred against the weight he had carried for half his life. And for the first time in 15 years, he didn't feel broken. He felt challenged. We'll start with static stand therapy. 30 seconds a day at the parallel bars, just pressure bearing. Then we see where it goes. Colonel William Hawthorne looked away, his jaw tightening. You don't know what it feels like to fall in front of men who used to salute you. I do, Emily Carter said, her voice quieter now. Not the same way, but I know what it feels like to be dismissed, to be told I'm not worth trying for. I've been invisible my whole life, sir. Looked through like I wasn't even there. He turned back toward her, searching her face. She didn't waver. Instead, she tilted her chin toward the gym. Give me 30 days. If nothing changes, I'll walk away. You won't hear from me again. His instincts screamed against it. Pride had protected him for 15 years, kept the wounds from reopening. But something shifted deep inside, something he hadn't allowed himself to feel in years. He didn't say yes, but he didn't say no either. He only gave her one short nod. Emily lifted her bag, her shoulders square, and walked away across the field. That nod, just that, was the first step. The next morning, before dawn had fully lifted, Hawthorne wheeled himself into the rehabilitation wing of the base gym. Dust covered the equipment like ghosts of the past. No one had expected him. No one, except her. Emily was already there, sleeves pushed back, hair tied tight, bars scrubbed clean, braces waiting. She didn't salute when he entered. He had ordered her not to. Braces are warmed, she said, pointing toward the padded rails. 30 seconds. That's our only goal today. Hawthorne said nothing. He locked the wheels of his chair and let her fasten the stabilizers along his thighs and calves. Her hands moved with unshakable precision. Tell me if something feels wrong, she said. It already does, he muttered, but let her guide him forward anyway. With her arm bracing his back, his palms found the cold steel bars. She was there at his side, shoulder to shoulder, not pushing, not pulling, just anchoring him. All right, she whispered. Now shift. Just bear weight. His arms quivered. Fire shot through his spine, sharp enough to bite down against. His breath grew ragged, but he didn't voice the pain. She saw it in his eyes anyway. Breathe, she murmured. His feet stayed rooted, but his knees tightened. Holding. Seconds stretched out. 10, 20. She didn't count aloud, didn't congratulate, just steadied her own breath with his, a calm rhythm in the storm. At 30, she leaned closer. Sit, Colonel. He collapsed into the chair, drenched in sweat, every muscle screaming, not from movement, but from the war inside his mind. She knelt in front of him, unfastening the straps. You did it, she said. I didn't move, he shot back. You stood, she countered. Your body remembered. The days bled together. Mornings before sunrise, the gym filled with the sound of his labored breathing, her quiet instructions, the scrape of braces locking. Some days he cursed under his breath, muscles failing him. Some nights, sleepless, he showed up hollow-eyed but ready. And she said nothing, only handed him a towel and reset the bars. 30 seconds became a minute. A minute became 2. By the third week, his grip steadied. His weight shifted forward without her touch. On the 21st day, she stood a fraction farther away. His knees locked without her shoulder pressed against him. That night, in the stillness of his quarters, Hawthorne stared at the mirror. His shoulders sat higher, his chest stronger, but it was his eyes that startled him. For the first time in years, they weren't dulled by resignation. They burned with presence. By the 4th week, seconds no longer mattered. They counted steps. 2 clumsy, heavy steps on the first day. For the next, 6 a week later. One morning, Emily entered and stopped in her tracks. The braces were already strapped. Hawthorne stood waiting between the bars. You're late, Private, he said, voice sharper than it had been in years. She smiled faintly. Sir, I've been here. Watching. That day he walked 10 steps. The gym staff who once ignored the sessions paused mid-lift, watching him shuffle forward, silent respect settling in the room. Word traveled fast. By month's end, soldiers gathered on the same field where it had all begun. They thought it was another ceremony, another medal pinned on another chest. Instead, they watched their colonel roll forward, lock his wheels, and, with one hand on his cane and the other on Emily's, rise. No bars. No cords. Just his own will. 1 step forward. He turned, saluted. The silence shattered. Cheers erupted, some soldiers openly weeping, others chanting his name. But Hawthorne looked only at her. He stepped closer, pressed his cane into her hands, and stood taller than he had in years. You didn't just help me stand, Carter. You reminded me who I was before the chair. Her eyes burned, but her voice stayed steady. Sir, you never lost him. He was waiting for permission. Hawthorne reached into his jacket and withdrew a small medal. Civilians don't know this one, he said, pinning it to her chest. It's given to those who restore something broken. Not my body, he added, his voice breaking. My will. Emily's lips trembled, but she lifted her chin. I didn't come to fix you. I came to remind you weren't finished. They stood together, commander and private, bound not by duty but by belief. Behind them, the field of soldiers stood straighter, prouder. Not because they had witnessed a man walk again, but because they had witnessed a man choose to rise.